Hello everyone, this is VIGNESH from IIM Trichy PGPBM 1921 batch. As part of my Indian economy and policy report, I am here to talk about how inequality and poverty is rising in India while millionaires are driving, how the poor are struggling to survive. About 27.5% of India's population is multidimensionally poor and 8.6% of country's people live in extreme poverty. In 2017, 73% of the wealth generated went to the richest 1% in India. Their wealth also increased by 91,300 crore, which is the total budget of the central government in 2018. The country also added 70 million millionaires to the list, taking to the total of 101 millions. Their collective wealth also increased by rupees 4,89,100 crore from 1,57,800. These were the findings from the Oxford report. Interestingly, in the same year, 67 crore Indian, comprising the poorest part of the population, saw just 1% growth for their wealth. It is no surprise that India is the second most unequal region in wealth distribution as revealed by the Wealth Inequality Report 2010. So, let's deep dive into this issue. In 2016, income of 273 people was more than that of 2.2 crore people in India. The disparity became evident when one looked at the growth total income of about 4.4 crore taxpayers for the assessment year of 2015-16. Total income of about 2.3 crore people who fall under different income categories were rupees 50,56,835 crore. This is still 10% less than what just 273 people earned in the same assessment year. Each of them owned at least 500 crore, taking their total annual income to rupees 6,80,459 crores. Within the same year, about 27.5% of India's population was identified as multidimensional poor and 8.6% of the country's people lived in extreme poverty. According to the 2018 Multidimensional Poor Index (MPI), in almost every state, poor nutrition is the largest contribution for the multidimensional poor. The index also revealed that India still have 364 million people living in poverty, the highest number in any country. It is more than 25% of the 1.34 million people living in multidimensional poor globally. So, why this wealth inequality? Economic inequality is largely driven by the unequal ownership of capital, which can be either privately or publicly, observes the World Inequality Report. Since 1980, very large transfer of public to private wealth is nearly all country by the richest or emerging. Well, national wealth has substantially increased. Public wealth is now negatively or close to zero in rich countries. Arguably, these limit the ability of government to tackle inequality. Suddenly, it has important implications for wealth inequality among individuals, the report argues. To truly understand the scale of wealth accumulation, one need to look at the tax havens. The wealth held in tax havens represent more than 10% of the global GDP. Dramatic increase in percentage of global wealth held offshore in making it difficult to access taxpayers and capital income in a global world. While land and real estate registers give some idea of wealth accumulation, they do not count a large share of wealth which is in the form of financial securities. Besides, data transparency changes are needed in national and global tax policies, as well as which policies to address global wealth inequality. Now, let's look at another interesting as well as an important impact of climate change on poverty and inequality. Climate change impacts are likely to lower the living standard of nearly 50% of India's population, says a World Bank report. According to the report titled South India's Hotspot Impact of Temperature and Precipitation of Changes on Living Standard, rising temperature and erratic rainfall pattern could cost India 2.8% of the GDP. It seems that almost half of South Asia, including India, lives in vulnerable areas and will suffer from declining living standard. Approximately 600 million Indians live in area with changes in average temperature and precipitation will negatively impact living standards. These areas are going hotspots but identified using spatial granular climate and household data analysis. The analysis was done by two scenarios. One indicating a pathway where climate change mitigation was taken, and the other where the current trends of global emission continued. We have attempted to identify how climate change will affect household consumption, and that is the basis of estimation and hotspot mapping to granular data from the household level. We aggregated to give large level of analysis for at the district, state and country level. States in central, north and northwestern part of India will be the most vulnerable part to climatic change. Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh likely to be the top two climate hotspots. These two states will see a decline of more than 9% of their living standard, followed by Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra. Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh not only gave high poverty rates, but they are also home to large indigenous population. Now, how to tackle this? It starts with identifying the hotspot to help find places which most need to resources. To address the problem, we need to enhance education, reducing water stress and improving jobs in non-agricultural sectors. This is because households which earned income from agriculture will likely to be the most affected. A 30% improvement in this measure could hold a decline in living standard by almost 1% from the 2.8% minus to 1.9%. Thanks for watching.